Nobody goes to the Grand Canyon to increase his self-esteem. So why do they go? Got that new thing that's sticking out like a horseshoe over the Grand Canyon. It's going to open up here in a few days, I guess. Why will people pay money to go there and feel fragile and small? I'll tell you why, and you can tell people this. You should ask them, why do you go there? Why do you? And if you can't go there, we buy these big $50 glossy books and put them on our coffee table with pictures of big mountains and rivers and mountains and valleys. Why? What's going on there? You don't stand on the edge of the Grand Canyon to feel like somebody. Yet you go there and the reason is because deeply written on the human soul is the truth that we were made not to be made much of, but to make much of God. That's what's written on your heart. Every human soul has a writing on their heart that says, you're made for God. You're made to see Him and savor Him and admire Him. I went to an In-N-Out Burger. I hear you like In-N-Out Burger, CJ. So about 2 hours ago, I had my first In-N-Out Burger. Maybe it was the second, I don't know. And I walked into the restroom. And I came out of the restroom, and I said, Rick, there's a relationship between the restroom and heaven. And he said, how's that? And I said, there's no mirror in the restroom. And I believe with all my heart, heaven will not be a hall of mirrors where we like what we see, which is what many people think it's going to be. Finally, I like me. I don't think there are going to be any mirrors in heaven at all. I think you're going to be the mirror in heaven. That's written on your heart. Your highest joy does not come from standing in front of a mirror like in what you see. I don't care how many psychologists tell you that it is. That's not your highest joy. Your highest joy will be becoming a mirror off of which Christ shines as you behold Him and are satisfied in Him. Second illustration is a cartoon, Arlo and Janice. I don't know if you've ever heard of Arlo and Janice. I don't read cartoons. These were sent to me and I love it. So here's the frame. Arlo and Janice are these two old people, like me and Noel, standing out in the snow. And he says to her, it's so quiet. They're standing in the snow outside under a tree. It's so quiet. And she says, yes. And he says, hey. And they walk away into the dark. Ever notice the best moments make you feel insignificant? That's in the newspaper. That's not in the Bible. What's that? The best moments make you feel insignificant? Explain. Because you're made for God as the gospel. You go down, He goes up, your joy expands, He enlarges, and you're being satisfied in Him. Here's the last one, and I cannot believe this happened. You know, speakers, when they go to hotel rooms, they get baskets of food given to them. Nature Valley trail mix, fruit and nut. Here's the ad that I brought with me for Nature Valley trail mix, fruit and nut, which I tore out of a National Geographic sub-magazine to illustrate the gospel. So now we have a prophetic affirmation of this illustration. Now here's the picture. You get this thing? There's the, see that? So there it is. And here's this magnificent magnificent scene, a lake, distant hills, and a peak. And look at this, two little human beings. Two little human beings at the top of this mountain with his arms stretched like this, with ropes hanging over his arms. They climbed this thing. They climbed this. And they're standing up there, and you can read this, maybe. I'll read it to you. You've never felt more alive. You've never felt more insignificant. Isn't this amazing? My point is, it's written on their hearts. It's written on their hearts that they're made for God. There is an overlap. You can find a way to talk to your friends at school about God being the gospel. You can find overlaps in the things they long for and yearn for, and how things go bankrupt in their lives when they set their affections on small things.